I'm not gonna lie, I've been scared to do this video. What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and to another video, and today we are going to be continuing on with my ships tier list series, and today we are going to be doing Sanemi ships. Got my Sanemi steady hands sweater on, which by the way, whenever I wear character styled cardigans, they're all from Steady Hands. I'm not sponsored by them, but I love them. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually put this one off because I'm technically supposed to be going through my list of favorite characters, starting with Tanjiro and just working my way down, but I technically like Sanemi better than I like both Rengoku and Mitsuri, which there is a video that's gonna come out about that because I feel like that's an incredibly hot take, but I don't care. And that is because I think this video has the potential to be the most controversial video in this series. I have had multiple really horrible experiences with multiple situations regarding Sanemi ships. So I am a little bit scared to make this, but we gotta make it because I also want to talk about Sanemi ships. So just a reminder, and this one is even more important on this video since I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with a lot of my thoughts on Sanemi ships. These are just my opinion. This video is all in good fun. If I don't ship something you like, that is okay. If I ship something you don't like, that is okay. These are fictional characters and it is not that deep, I promise. You are more than welcome to comment if you disagree, just keep it respectful, that's all I ask. But with that, we're going to dive right in, but before we do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. And also don't forget to follow me on my social media. I am so freaking close to hitting 10K on Instagram, which is really exciting, so make sure you follow me there. It is in the description, but it is Hannah Malay. Also, if you are interested in getting to see these videos early, as well as some other fun perks, make sure you join my memberships. You'll get videos early, you'll get priority reply in the comments, there's even gonna be some live streams once I hit a certain number of members, so you definitely want to join in on the fun there as well. Okay, but enough about that, let's get into it. And once again, I have to use this already pre-made ships tier list because there wasn't any Sanemi ones and I did not have time to create my own. So I think there are a few technically missing from here, like some, you can technically argue that he can be shipped with a lot of the demons, but I think we've all established that I am not the biggest fan of human x demon ships. We kind of know where I stand with those. You know where I stand with adult x child, so those will probably slowly start to fade away into the point where like you don't need to hear me say it 25 times. But with that, our first ship is Sanemi and Rengoku. So I've already done this ship because I did it in the Rengoku video. I like it. Rengoku is the type of character that I argue you can kind of pass around with everyone, but I feel like their personalities would clash just a little bit because they're both very loud, but in very different ways. I feel like when it comes to very loud personalities, you either need to like be on the same page or it won't work. So while Rengoku is very nice, Sanemi is not necessarily mean, he just has coping. He's just coping, honestly. But I feel like they respect each other, but it just wouldn't really work in a relationship, personally. So I'm gonna put this in B, that's where I put it in my Rengoku ships video, and B, I haven't changed my opinion on that at all. Sanemi and Zenitsu is obviously going in U. Sanemi and Tengen. So again, Tengen's an interesting character because he's married, but also you can't really have the argument of like cheating because he has 3 wives. So why not throw someone else into the mix? However, I don't know if I like Sanemi. I feel like Sanemi is one of my least favorites, like throw them into the mix. For the record, I think a lot of the reasons why I have some like very hot takes on Sanemi is because he does not know how to handle human emotions during like the majority of the show. So I just like, I can't see it with many of the characters. That being said, it's not like awful, it's not bad. It's just like, okay, like I'm not gonna hate anyone for shipping it, but it's not really my cup of tea. Again, like their personalities I feel like would clash a lot more because they're both very loud, but they're not loud like on the same wavelength. It's very different. So they would just butt heads, I think. And unlike with Rengoku, I feel like also we don't see that level of respect that Sanemi has for Rengoku. So I'm putting it in C. I'm sorry. The more I think about it, the more I don't really like it. Okay, for the record, I keep forgetting to do this in these videos, but from here on out, I have to talk about manga spoilers. So, yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled on the entirety of the rest of the story, put a pin in this video, go read the manga. Like, honestly, just go read the manga and come back. Because I do need to talk about manga spoilers for a lot of these ships, because a lot of my thoughts on these ships I have to talk about their entire story arc. So, Sanemi and Giyu. We've already done Giyu ships, so if you watch that, you know I actually really like this ship. Unlike with Rengoku and Sanemi and Tengen and Sanemi, I feel like their personalities gel. It is a common misconception that they hate each other. They do not hate each other. They misunderstand each other. Giyu actively states in the already animated story that he wants to be Sanemi's friend, that he's like thinking about bringing Ohagi the next time that he can train with him so that they can be friends. Like, he actively wants to try. Sanemi just misunderstands him because since Giyu doesn't talk a lot, Sanemi reads that as Giyu thinks he is better than all of them, but we as an audience, of course, know that Giyu thinks he's actually not deserving of being a Hashira. So there's like that misunderstanding. So, as we know, again, huge manga spoiler I'm about to drop, Sanemi and Giyu, outside of Tengen, who's retired, or just retired Hashira in general, are the only two Hashira that survive the final battle. We see them get along afterwards. We see that they were smiling with each other, that they were eating with each other. And I'm not trying to sit here and say it's canon because it isn't. They canonically do have children, so, you know. But I like it. Like, it's good. Is it something that I will, like, die on a hill for? No, I have a lot of friends like that. But that being said, it still is my favorite Sanemi ship. So, it's going in S. Come for me. Actually, don't. I request that people don't because it's just like, it's mindless arguments to argue about ships within Demon Slayer. I really like Sanemi and Giyu. It's probably my favorite. It's definitely my favorite non-canon ship. Maybe I might like Rengoku and Tengen just a little bit more, but I really like this ship. I just like the growth that they had, that once they learned how to understand each other, that it ended up being romantic. It's like a fun fanon ship. Sanemi and Gyomei. I mean, it's not awful, but I don't, like, I literally can't think of any thoughts on it. It's something I've never really had time to think about, so it's not like good enough for A, but it's not like I feel like this wouldn't work at all. So it's going in B because it's completely meh to me. Okay. Sanemi and Masachika. So, I don't want to get into it too much, but this is one of the ships that I have experienced some of the most insane takes on the internet for. Sanemi and Masachika, I don't ship, but it is perfectly okay to ship it. And I'm going to pretty much leave it at that because I don't feel like really getting into the argument. They are our friends and they become very close. Of course, Masachika had a very tragic death. I actually loved them a little bit more when I read the light novel Signs from the Wind, which, by the way, highly suggest reading Signs from the Wind. I suggest reading all the light novels. They're actually all quite good. I have my issues with a couple of chapters where it kind of came across as fan fiction, where someone like didn't fully flesh out their research of the story, because they're not written by Gotoge. They just went in and like reviewed it, and I guess they even missed some of the chapters have like messed up timelines or whatever, or like there's a couple times where characters feel a little bit not in character. That being said, it is confirmed canon, all of those books, so I highly suggest reading it. Signs from the Wind, the first chapter, is all about how Masachika died, and I already loved Sanemi's backstory. That added so much to it, and I really hope the anime adds more. I think they probably won't have time if they're really planning on finishing this entire story with these next two movies, but man, oh man, I was like sobbing while I was reading it because it really does a good job at kind of explaining Sanemi's psyche and the reason that he acts the way that he does. I'm not going to go too deep into that because Sanemi is a character that I can't wait to yap about, but that being said, this ship is fine. It's not something I ship, but I understand why people ship it, and it's perfectly fine to ship it. Because for the record, people on the internet think that it's wrong to ship it. It's not. They are not related in any way, okay? Okay, I will put it in... I'm going to put it in A because there's actual like relationship there. Like they genuinely got along. So that, to me, I mean, he got along with Gyomei and Rengoku and Tengen as well. But I feel like when it comes to Sanemi's relationship with present day Hashira, outside of like Giyu, and like maybe, well, he fights alongside Gyomei and Muichiro in the Infinity Castle, but like he has like an actual story with Masachika, so I feel like there's more context, there's more to back it up, so it's going in A. Speaking of Muichiro, that's obviously ew. Sanemi and Obanai, totally understand why people ship it. They get along really well. They're like, they feel like the coworkers that they won't talk to anyone except each other. Like, and when they talk to each other, they are like the most gossipy besties ever. Like, I don't know who I'm talking to. I've been working in the corporate world for a while. There's people who will just talk to everyone. There's people who will not talk to anyone. And then there are people who will be that way with different groups of people. Sanemi and Obanai 100% are like the ones that refuse to talk to most people, but when they talk to each other, it's like, where are they? Where did they go? They're like hiding in a corner getting all their gossip in. I don't know if that's a good explanation of how I see them, but that's how it works in my head. Romantically though, I will put it in A as well. They get along quite well, so I can definitely see it. Sanemi's just a tough character because the way he acts throughout the canon part of the show is very just, yeah, that man's not ready for romance. He just isn't. Sanemi and Shinobu. This is harder than I thought. Sanemi and Shinobu. It feels not right. And I don't know why. Like, there's something about it that just doesn't feel right. But I can also, again, it's another one where it's like, I can see why people ship it. I don't like it as much, though. I'm putting that one in B. It's not for me. But it's also because, like, Shinobu is a character that I also struggle to ship with. Like, there are just a lot of characters where I don't have feelings about them having feelings for each other, because these characters are just so caught up in the situation they're in, and considering like Shinobu doesn't make it, Masachika doesn't make it, Obanai doesn't make it, Rengoku doesn't make it, Gyomei doesn't make it, Tengen does, but I don't think they get along. You know, like all these characters, one of them doesn't make it, so I don't have any time to be like, oh, Sanemi could grow into it like he can with Giyu. Like, that's, I think, my biggest issue, is Sanemi is probably the character I most feel like does not have the capability of feeling romantic during his time as a demon slayer because of his story and the way he handles the trauma that he's experienced. He's further from romance on his mind than, like, Tanjiro is, and Tanjiro's a child. So it's really, like, so many of these ships I just don't feel many things towards. Obviously, this is ew for, like, multiple reasons. They are brothers. Okay, here we go. Sanemi and Kanae. I'm just gonna say it. It's not canon, and that's okay. It doesn't need to be forced into a canon box. I can see why people ship it. I genuinely can see why people ship it. They do have a few moments together in his backstory. Personally, I've talked about this before, I don't really care for Kanae that much. I just don't have enough time with her to care that much. I don't understand why she has such a dedicated fan base. It's not that I'm mad that she does. I just don't get it. A lot of people are always like, Kanae, she's my favorite. And I'm like, of all the characters, because in my opinion, most of the characters in Demon Slayer are actually very well written. Of all the characters, you pick her. It just doesn't make sense to me, okay? On top of that, I think my feelings on this ship have gotten worse as time has progressed just because of how people talk to me about it when I say I don't really ship it. Again, it's okay to disagree with me. I always try to be very respectful about the way that I say things, because I understand that, like, we're talking about media, we're talking about art, and art is subjective. So, like, there's a level of everyone's gonna have differing opinions on it, and that doesn't necessarily mean that one is right over the other. This really comes from our preferences, our style of enjoyment out of what we watch. So I have a lot more to say now. So when it comes to Sanemi and Kanae, I just don't see it because again, the way I see Sanemi, especially at the time that Kanae was a Hashira and alive, he would have been 17, she would have been 17. There's just no way my brain can comprehend him being even romantically inclined towards her. Now, let's talk about the reason why people argue that it's canon. In the core records book, Gyomei says Sanemi seems to like Kanae. So you can argue that's a slight hint of them having the option of being canon, but for the record, canon means it has been confirmed by either being explicitly stated or it's an active part of the story. So like for example, Tanjiro and Kanao, canon because it is stated, it is shown during those like final chapters that they were the great-great-grandparents of the kid at the end. What is his name? Sumihiko? I think that was his name. So it's like that is canon. It's confirmation that they got married and had children. Obanai and Mitsuri are canon in the fact that their romance is an active part of the story. Sanemi and Kanae, that whole situation was not a part of it. In fact, it's been a while since I've read Sanemi's backstory, but I do remember him mentioning that like she reminded him of his mother. And also, a couple things about the Gyomei note. Number one is Gyomei comes across in these little blurbs as kind of like the office gossip guy who just is like, oh yeah, they spend time to each other. They're obviously in love. I've even had situations in friend groups where I've thought that someone in the friend group liked another person in the friend group and I ended up being wrong. Like you can misunderstand people's opinions. If people just like hanging out, then people like hanging out. It doesn't have to be romantic, right? On top of that, the translation of the core records book is horrible. I think half of it was machine translation. So I actually ordered a Japanese print of it and I'm gonna read it. And when I do, I'll let you know what it actually says. It could say that he liked her, but that doesn't confirm it as canon, okay? So, that being said, again, I understand why people ship it. It's just not for me. And I am really tired of being told I'm stupid for not shipping it. I'm gonna put it, it's gonna go in B. Because at the end of the day, there's just no true feelings. Only constant annoyance at how people talk to me about it. This one is Ew, which brings us to our last one, Sanemi and Mitsuri. So I've obviously already talked about this since I've done Mitsuri ships. I put it in B. I'm doing that with this one as well. Again, like Mitsuri and Obanai works because Obanai's a little bit like quieter and he actually like genuinely cares about her. We know that like Sanemi actually is like, he kind of finds her annoying, so it's not really my jam. So there's my ship list. Maybe my takes are controversial, but at the same time, when it comes to Sanemi, there's really only one ship that I have genuine feelings for, and that's why it's an S. Because Sanemi is such a complicated character, it almost feels silly thinking about romance with him because he's complicated. He's so complicated. And a lot of his ships are complicated because it's like, I don't know, like there's constant arguments on the internet about if like some of this stuff is even problematic or not, which it really isn't, so it doesn't really matter, but then people are so convinced that it is, that they like resort to harassing people about it, that it's like really, really strange. And then of course like the whole Sanemi and Kanae thing, like I said. So obviously with Sanemi, I love his character, but romance is like the farthest thing from my mind when I think about him. Romance is the farthest thing from his mind when he's a demon slayer, that a lot of it is just meh. Like the only reason that I put Sanemi and Masachika and Sanemi and Obanai in A is because they at least like have legitimate friendship that we see in the story. Like they legitimately get along and enjoy each other's company. So like there is something to be said about it. But when it comes to like Rengoku, Gyomei, Shinobu, and Mitsuri, I feel like there's just not enough there, which is so funny because like Masachika's not even a present day character, while all of those except for Kanae are. And I feel like there's more information to back up Masachika than all these characters. Anyway, but like part of his, like, Masachika is a character specifically from his story. Like we don't see him from any other story. Kanae, on the other hand, is a character from Shinobu's story that just happened to be a Hashira at the same time, and they like knew each other. And I fully believe that Sanemi enjoyed his time with Kanae. I do. And I'm okay with people shipping it. If it weren't for the fact, and people are going to be mad at me for saying this, but I don't care. If it weren't for the fact that the people like the crazy fans, not everyone. I know most of you are probably fine, but the ones that are like, and they like get on my comments and literally call me stupid, or if I'm like, I don't really ship this, they're like, okay, then I'm unfollowing you. Like, it's put such a sour taste in my mouth that I struggle to even like it now. Some people don't like that I say that. It is what it is. Anyway, this ended up being more of a yap than I was expecting, because and also I feel like I'm just preemptively, I am preemptively defending myself, because I know how these ship fandoms can be. It is kind of funny when you think about the fact that most of my experience with like really toxic people on the internet have to do with Sanemi ships. It is very strange. But anyway, there's my tier list. What is yours? Let me know in the comments. Again, I just ask that you keep things respectful, and remember that this is just my opinion and that it is shipping fictional 2D characters. It's not that deep. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts, and I will see you all in the next one. Mata ne!